Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Some of you guys may be looking at that title saying, wait a second, is this real? Another five-star. Rodney Garner is looking to haul in another five-star defensive lineman in the class of 24. You know, we're seeing five stars. We're seeing legitimate dudes all over the field, not just on the defensive line. We're seeing it at wide receiver. We're seeing the number one running back in the country show interest in Tennessee. Look, winning solves everything. What Tennessee did last year is bleeding into this class of 24. Some of these big-time playmakers are taking notice of what Josh Heupel is building on Rocky Top. We're going to talk about another five-star defensive lineman that Rodney Garner is looking to haul in. But first, I want to show you guys this. I thought this was absolutely hilarious on Twitter. This guy, Alex Adams, Tennessee fan, says he got Coach Heupel to tell his wife why there was no way he's going to miss the Alabama game for her sister's wedding. I got a good chuckle out of this. I just wanted to share it with you guys before we talk a little recruiting. Take a listen to Coach Heupel talking to this guy's wife. Pretty funny.
There's no way he's going to the wedding. Yeah, got to give me at the Alabama game. He can get play-by-play of the wedding at the ball game. That's right.
Coach Heupel's advice: get play-by-play of the wedding while you're at the ball game. That's funny. It's always a joke to me. Don't ever get married, boys. Don't ever get married in the fall, because guess what? You may get married on a Friday or a Sunday or a Tuesday, but eventually that's going to fall on a Saturday. So don't ever do it. Don't pull the trigger. Don't get married in the fall. That's the biggest mistake you could possibly make. But let's jump into it. As always, guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up just below the video. That's quick, free, easy. It helps the channel. I would appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. This channel is the heartbeat of the Tennessee fan base. We are for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Had a fun live stream last night. VAWLS JP in the house. Dauber on hand. Coach Jay. We broke down the offense as we head into spring practice 2023. Who we're excited about, what we're concerned about. Really good hour-long live stream. If you got time, go back, check it out. Good show as always. But let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. Another five-star defensive lineman showing some interest in Tennessee. You can see there on the screen, Edric Houston, 6'3", 255 pounds, out of Georgia. 247 Sports Composite has him as a five-star prospect. The 247 Sports Composite has him ranked as the number one defensive lineman in the country, top 10 prospect nationally. And look, again, we talk about Rodney Garner, and you guys probably get sick and tired of me talking about stacking recruiting classes, but it is the truth. When you look at what Tennessee's got on the defensive line, particularly the freshmen and sophomores, the sky is the limit, and you continue to do that year in, year out. Let iron sharpen iron. Let the weak get weeded out and transfer out, and let the strong move to the front. And Rodney Garner is doing that. And when you look at the class of 24 and what, you know, who is showing interest, and again, Edric Houston is who we're going to talk about here in just a minute. On three, has him listed as the number 3 edge rusher in the country. Also, number 1 ranked edge rusher. And again, right now I'm going by the on 3 rankings. On 3, number 1 edge rusher in the country, Dylan Stewart, 6'5", 235, out of Washington, D.C., also listed as the number 1 ranked player in the country. I made a video on Dylan Stewart last week. If you missed it, go back and check it out. It's all about Dylan Stewart showing interest, wanting to get on campus, wanting to see what Rocky Top is all about. And when we talk about Rodney Garner, when he came back to Tennessee, before Josh Heupel was even hired, we knew whoever the next head coach was had to keep Rodney Garner because he is the best in the business, not just at developing talent, not just at recruiting. Rodney Garner is going to put you in the league. These kids take notice. If Rodney Garner gets you on campus, Rodney Garner has a shot to land you. And that's, again, is Dylan Stewart heavily interested in Tennessee? I don't know. The On3 recruiting prediction machine shows him to Alabama. The same thing, Edric Houston shows him going to Georgia, only 28%. We'll get into that in just a second. You also look at the interior defensive lineman. Number 1 ranked interior defensive lineman, Williams Nwaneri, 6'6", 250. Number 2 ranked player nationally. You're talking about 2 defensive linemen in Stewart and Nwaneri, both interested, both wanting to get on campus, both wanting to visit Knoxville, both showing interest. Can Rodney Garner seal the deal? Can Rodney Garner close the door on some of these big-time recruits and put together something special? But let's talk about Edric Houston. Again, 6'3", 255. You go to the On3 recruiting prediction machine. Shows Georgia out front. Tennessee, Clemson also in the mix. Now, why are we talking about Edric Houston? Where did this interest come from? Where is this video coming from? Well, he had originally said, this is from an article over at On3. It is behind a paywall, so I'm not going to share it, go into all the details of it. But Edric Houston had 4 visits scheduled. Now he's adding 2 more. He is going to be visiting Tennessee on March the 25th. And I told you guys, we are going to see business pick up in the world of recruiting. We are going to see it pick up as we head into the spring and into the summer. That's when all these big-time targets are going to be showing their face around campus. But scheduled to visit Knoxville on March the 25th. He said he felt like Tennessee and Clemson both recruiting him pretty heavy. And again, you go back to the recruiting prediction machine at On3, they got Georgia at 27.6%, Clemson 14.7%, Tennessee 12.6%, Alabama 10.5%. That tells me this thing is wide open. It is wide open. And he says Tennessee is making him a priority. One quote that he did give On3 says he likes Rodney Garner and the way he's able to break down film and show me why his players did what they did and things like that. He says those visits coming up are pretty big, just to go and see what they've got. So again, get him on campus. Let Rodney Garner work on Edric Houston. And when you're talking about, are they going to land every single one of these guys? Absolutely not. But when you've got multiple big-time 5-star talents coming on campus, if you can land a couple of them, you're going to be in a good spot. It's like the wide receiver position. When we talk about Ryan Wingo and we talk about Mike Matthews, you land one of those 2, I think you're in a pretty good spot. The scouting report on Edric Houston from on3.com says twitched up edge defender who wins with get off and burst, ran a solid 56.46 400-meter during his sophomore track and field season. Also competed in the shot put and discus. Has potential flexibility due to size. Has positional flexibility due to size and athleticism. Could potentially move off the ball to an inside linebacker prospect or gain serious mass and kick inside to a 3 technique. Shows off athletic ability and physicality at the point of attack on offense as well at the tight end position. Lacks ideal length for the edge, but makes up for it with his hand usage and understanding of leverage. Now, leverage is obviously a big part of the defensive line, right? Leverage. And that's something that I like about Edric Houston. He also participates with the wrestling team. And that's something that, I personally love. These wrestlers, you can't teach a better work ethic. You can't teach better, they use the word leverage there. And just work ethic is probably the best thing. Anything I encourage kids, they talk about training martial arts or doing karate. Don't waste your time. Get them in jiu-jitsu or get them into wrestling, because those 2 martial arts are the foundation that can lead to success, particularly wrestling when you're talking about offensive linemen, defensive linemen. But Edric Houston, again, scheduled to visit Tennessee. He's been on campus before. You go look at his recruiting through on3.com. You can see he visited back in the summer of last year. He was on campus June the 17th, also visited during the season, October the 29th, and then he's got the visit scheduled coming up here later in March. We've also already got 3-star defensive lineman Carson Gentle already committed and in the boat for the class of 24. So what can Rodney Garner do? What can Rodney Garner put together? How many of these big-time prospects that I rattled off? But when you're talking about the defensive line, when the top 2 players nationally, not just defensive linemen, but top 2 players nationally are defensive linemen, and you've got the best defensive line coach in the country, the best defensive line recruiter in the country, can Rodney Garner get these guys on campus? Can Rodney Garner seal the deal? Because if he can, again, I think we see this defense get better the more Rodney Garner builds that defensive line. The linebackers are all of a sudden going to look better. The secondary all of a sudden going to look better. And when you're trying to recruit these kids that play at the second and third level, and you can say, well, look at the foundation we've got on the defensive line. They're going to make your job a whole lot easier, and you're going to look great on film getting to the next level. It starts up front. It starts in the trenches. How many of these guys can Rodney Garner get in the boat? Hit the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Is Edric Houston? What about Dylan Stewart? Are those legitimate shots, legitimate targets for Tennessee and Rodney Garner to reel in? Love to hear your guys' comments. As always, make sure you smash the thumbs up on the way out the door and go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' VAWLS Network. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin' VAWLS. We appreciate you guys picking up the merch. Love to see you tag me on Twitter, rocking that merch at Boogie Bentley. If you're not following me, give me a follow. I'm not very good at Twitter. Not very good at Twitter. You can give me a follow anyway. But we appreciate the support. As always, thank you to the members of the channel. You know, somebody commented on the video from yesterday and said, Boogie, I've been listening to your channel for a long time, and now that you're full-time, I went ahead and jumped in as a member for $10 a month at the elite level to support what you are doing. I cannot say thank you enough to people like that. Because of you, I can do this full time. So that continued support means everything to me. It's humbling. It's mind-blowing. So thank you. You can hit the join button down below and be a part of that. We would appreciate it. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.